What's up, everybody? Clint Esposito here with my friend Rasmus for
What's up,
episode
everybody?
episode number 2 of Skull and Bros.
Hey,
Good morning,
uh,
Rasmus. How are you?
I'm good, man. We just had a bit of a blizzard over here in Sweden, so
Oh, really?
yeah, chaos and traffic today, man.
How
But
much snow
I'm
did you
waiting for
get?
spring. I keep waiting for spring because the snow disappears and it comes right back. It's so annoying.
How much did you get today?
I don't know in inches because we use the metric system, but a lot overnight, and then all day today's been snowing like crazy.
Well, we had a
Yeah,
terrible weekend snow-wise, so
yeah, that's good. How you been, man?
I'm pretty good. Just
Yeah,
same thing, busy day, so just trying to get everything going this morning. We're
yeah,
going
boy.
to talk a little bit about today about the uh, East Palestine train wreck and some weird things that's going on with that. Specifically, testing for toxins and stuff like that. I realize you're not going to be able to see the articles I have up.
Me or everyone
You,
watching?
everybody else will.
Oh, okay. Wait, but can I go?
No,
Can I
because
go
it's
somewhere?
not
No. All
live now. Remember, we had
right,
the
screw it.
issue with the live, so now. And let me fix my screen capture. Okay. All right, so we're going to, the first one we have is EPA pressured for transparency about dioxin testing after Ohio derailment. And I don't know, and this is actually NBC News. The
Hmm.
EPA said levels of cancer-causing chemicals are similar to typical background levels, but have not yet released any data. The Environmental Protection Agency says levels of cancer-causing chemicals called dioxins in East Palestine, Ohio, are similar to typical background levels. I don't know what that means.
That sounds sketchy.
After a
But
train,
dude,
yeah,
can you just if you just go back? So I haven't been keeping track of this, but basically a train derailed in Ohio, East
yeah,
Palestine, carrying a bunch of toxic shit. And from my understanding, then the EPA was that Environmental Protection Agency.
yeah.
They decided it was a good idea to blow this shit to pieces. Is that what happened?
Yeah, yeah. They decided
And
that the best course of action would be to burn the like just open it up and then burn the fluid there.
so it's
Uh,
like a controlled
well,
release.
I
That's what
was
they.
looking for. There's a bunch of stuff. Uh, there's so much stuff on this that you need to find. But no, it was
Yeah,
not. They say it was a controlled burn, but it was not a
yeah,
controlled burn because it was just out in the open.
yeah,
So, to do a controlled burn, you need to make it like an engine, right? An engine gets so many parts fuel, so many parts air, and it's in a combustion chamber, and then
yeah,
just the finely burnt stuff comes out of the other end.
yeah,
If your car was running, like puffing a bunch of smoke out of the back, you would assume that the mixture is not right. Well,
yeah.
same thing happened in Ohio when they burnt this stuff. It was a huge plume of, smoke and gas. So obviously, they did not have enough oxygen on it.
Yeah. Obviously, they did a shit job at it,
They did not do a good job.
and it's not good for anyone.
Oh, here you go. I did find the correct one. Okay. All right.
Mm.
So here we're going to watch. I'll get the sound on so you can hear it too. But
Yeah.
we have a, well, I'll let him explain it because I don't really.
Including dioxin. We're doing a lot of soil sampling, and we're going to be looking for a lot of chemicals, including dioxin. We're doing a lot of soil sampling and water sampling. My view is that it was a bad decision to release it and burn it. So I have undergraduate and graduate degrees in chemical engineering. I mean, I've brought respirators and stuff with us. The problem is to wear a respirator, you need to know what to protect from, right? Hydrocarbons, acid gases. We're here, I think, the first group independently to try to figure out what's really here, because what they were measuring most of the time is what they call VOCs, which is just some generic, it's not a specific chemical, right? I couldn't, in good conscience, until we get some sampling data, know what to protect against. I've been involved in these before. They know that things are going to dissipate with time, so they measure things that don't really matter. There's evidence that when you burn vinyl chloride poorly, and it was definitely burned poorly because it had such a black plume. If you think of in the old days with a carburetor, if you had the air-fuel ratio wrong and you had black smoke, that meant you had too much fuel, not enough air. And that black is carbon, right? So it doesn't combust all the way to CO2. When there's incomplete combustion, there's evidence.
Go there to real.
There you go. And there might be even another part two with that guy. So let's go. Here's another guy, an Army medic.
Since Instagram deleted my last reel for some reason, I don't know why, we'll try this again. Story time. If you don't know, from my other previous reel, I was a medic in the Navy. They sent me to an NBC casualty care provider course in Aberdeen, Maryland, where they spent a bunch of time teaching me how to treat chemical casualties in a nuclear, biological, and chemical attack environment. And one of the first things they taught us about was phosgene. Phosgene, if you don't know, is a byproduct of burning vinyl chloride. So that train derailment in Ohio that released all the vinyl chloride around it, and then they decided to light it on fire, yeah, congratulations. All they ended up doing was creating a shit ton of phosgene. Germans used this stuff in World War I to kill everything. It's invisible. It smells like fresh cut grass when it gets to a certain point in the air, right? And it makes you choke and gasp for air, so you breathe in more of it. You feel like crap, and then basically what happens is your lungs fill with fluid and you drown to death without ever seeing water. It's 10 times more deadly than chlorine gas. It's literally the reason that we have the Geneva Conventions and the Geneva Protocol of 1925 banning the use of chemical weapons in a combat situation. It's literally the reason that we have these things. And they just set it all over Ohio. Great job, guys.
So,
Dude, that is insane. Like I've heard that before, but like you can imagine. I mean, that shit must be everywhere in Ohio right now.
Well, and I've seen even people that monitor air quality, even on the East Coast, where we got covered with it as well, because figure that's probably 5 hours away, maybe. And the way that
that close.
And the way that the wind currents move, it basically brought everything this way. The other theory with it, so here, maybe here it is. Who owns Labcorp? Where is the... So here's the other theory. Well, we need to look at where the Ohio River goes, or the spreading of this, because basically the theory is that the whole East Coast basically gets fed by the Ohio River for the most part. So once you do that, you basically contaminate most of the farmland on the East Coast.
Yeah. That's the theory that I've heard, is that, because they're attacking the food supplies. And not only in the US, but I mean, they've been doing that shit. Look at the farmers in Holland. You seen that?
Yeah. Yeah, where they're spraying the shit on the buildings and stuff because they've been getting screwed with.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're making, the climate people are making new laws and regulations that basically fuck over the farmers for the climate. And I mean, yeah, it's just a straight on attack against the food, supply.
And you know who owns a bunch of the most farmland in the United States?
I want to say Bill Gates, right?
Bill Gates.
He does, yeah.
So I would also venture to guess Bill Gates' farmland is further out west. And I don't know that for sure, but I would put money that they didn't do all this in where his farmland is.
Oh, definitely not. Well, maybe he could have some farmland like everywhere.
Probably.
But I mean, I bet you what he's gonna do with that farmland is probably grow like he'll make like cricket farms, so we can eat bugs. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Or just even more corn. Like we need more corn. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. No cattle, no chickens.
No. Yeah, he's trying to get rid of all that stuff. He'd probably put some labs out in those fields so that they can grow meat.
Just the Beyond Burgers.
So now the other thing that everybody's talking about is that there's an investment corporation called BlackRock, and they have a really big stake in Norfolk Southern, which is a train line. Then after this happened, how come I keep losing the videos that I need here? So what the hell is I talking about? Oh, so Labcorp and another one, I don't remember what, Diagnostics Inc. or some shit like that, stopped testing for dioxins, which is the main issue that you would have if you were exposed to this. They are also, a huge investor in them is also BlackRock. So why would you all of a sudden right now just stop testing for dioxins? You just be like, oh.
We can guess our way there. I mean, it's not that far fetched, you know. And BlackRock, and I think Vanguard also owns a part of that train company. And Vanguard and BlackRock, I think, are owned by the same people. So they're basically the same.
I'm sure. This is hilarious. Everything that I have pulled up keeps disappearing. Because there was a woman's videos about them not testing for this stuff anymore. I know where we're going to go. Rumble.
Oh, you see you can play it through Rumble?
Yeah, exactly. What was it? Labcorp. No longer.
But like on this, man, hasn't there been like, I mean, not maybe train derailments as well, but there's been like a ton of hazardous like spills and places exploding and stuff like that in the last few months. Where the fuck does that come from? Like that never happened before, or at least I never saw it happen. You know, what was that company? It was called Premix or Primex or something like that. I'm not sure what they do, but they had three kind of massive buildings blow up in like the same day. The same company had it.
Oh, I didn't realize they were the same company.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was one in Mexico and two in the US.
Where the hell did this video go, dude? So yeah, we had another one in Ohio, building blow up. Then there was one in Florida, that big plant that blew up in Florida or caught on fire that had plastic planters or something, and that thing looked like you know what I mean, like a friggin' chemical spill itself.
Yeah.
I'm blown away that this is not, I mean, I'm not blown away that it's not showing up. I literally just had 2 articles that I wanted to go over, and now as soon as we started, I can't find either one of them. Are they in my computer? So yeah, the theory is, you know, we've been being pushed. Also, all the chickens being killed. All the chicken farms. Have you heard about that? I
saw something about that. Yeah, I heard about it on a podcast. They're saying that the chickens are dying, or like even the chicken factories that caught fire. and stuff like that.
We lost one or two big ass. Actually, we had one, and then New Zealand had one. And there's already an egg shortage in New Zealand, and here eggs are getting really expensive. That's what they keep pushing
I
to
heard.
us. The eggs are so expensive, and whatever. I literally buy them. They're still $5 a dozen, but I'll buy them from a farmer like 2 streets over. They just have a big
that's beautiful,
cooler in front of the house. We also buy meat from them. They have grass-fed, grass-finished cows right across the street. They slaughter them in October. You can buy a whole cow, a half a cow, a quarter cow.
That's awesome.
So we try and do that as much. But the whole theory with this is that they're trying to ruin a lot of the farmland, so that way you have to buy their Beyond Burgers and their cricket juice or whatever the hell they got going on.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think at the bottom of it, and on your point there, I buy meat from a farmer that I know, and we also have. It's pretty cool actually. We have I think for every major city in Sweden, and even the small ones, maybe there's like a Facebook page where you can go and find all the farmers that live close by, and it's like a market. So they put everything they have on the Facebook page, and you can buy it from them directly.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we can get good quality eggs, meat, lamb, whatever you want, honey even. It's pretty good. But isn't this like if they're attacking all the good food that humans actually need to thrive? It looks to me like they're trying to make us dependent on their bullshit food and the sugar and the crickets and fucking larvae that we're gonna eat. And it's kind of scary, man, because that shit that was going on in Holland too, where they're trying to. It's some chemical or something that they're using when they farm. That the government's saying that you can't use that much of it, and basically what that means is that the farmers can't grow their food anymore.
Right.
For the climate, right? It's I don't know. And on that trade Derailment, man, I was thinking about that. Being a Swede, I was wondering where the fuck where's Greta, man?
Yeah.
Where's Greta on that one? Like, because I saw some gnarly videos on the fish dying in the lakes, the fucking oily looking water,
and everybody's chickens within like a literally 5 or 10 mile radius are dying.
Yeah, even further. I heard pets like the dogs are dying, and it is. And I know where Greta is, by the way. She got arrested. Was it 2 or 3 days ago? Yeah, in Norway. And it's hilarious. I'll actually pull that up because she's protesting windmills, I think, or some shit like that. Greta arrested Norway.
She needs to come here and protest the we have windmills now. They put them right off of the coast of New Jersey.
Yeah.
And since they've done that, we've had dolphins, whales, all kinds of shit wash up dead on the shore.
What?
All kinds, dude.
What the? But the funny thing is that I think she was protesting, let me look it up. Yeah, wind farms, basically. But not because of any, like, environmental reason. There's, like, what would you call that? The very, very old culture of, in Scandinavia is the Sami people. And they're, like, separate from I don't know if you've ever seen them. Their culture is completely different. They live with reindeers and stuff. They're like the old school, and they still exist.
Awesome.
And they were saying that the wind farms, they put wind farms on the Sami land, and that's why she was protesting. But I thought all these wind things were supposed to help the environment. Isn't that what they say is like solar and wind?
Yeah, I mean,
and then she's there protesting the wind thing.
Right.
And Dr. Greta, yeah, I don't know. Did you see that she got a doctrine from the University of Finland for doing nothing?
That's why she probably got arrested, because now she's turned on the government. Like they were all for her, propping her up, but now she's going against wind energy. So I'm sure that the powers that be are like, get her out of here. You know, she could do whatever she wanted as long as they were on their side. As soon as she shows any bit of resistance to them, they're like...
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm also kind of thinking that 50-50 that the arrest was fake. Did you see the one in Germany? You didn't see that one? Dude, she got arrested in Germany for protesting. And on a video, you can find it easily if you look for it. She's literally posing with the cops, like laughing, while they're like holding her hands. Like, it's hilarious. Yeah. Anyways, where are you, Greta?
Yeah.
Fucking Ohio needs you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so they're killing all the animals there. Also, the other thing that I had read before was they one of the stories was like, we tested, we closed the whatever the thing happened. I don't remember exactly because I did this on another show. They closed the water, like the inlet for the reservoir off the Ohio River. But the accident happened on the 3rd, right? They closed it on like the 17th or something. And then they tested the water coming in and they were like, oh, we didn't have any, there was no contamination. And I'm like, you waited 3 weeks to test it and close the gate.
Yeah.
So what the fuck were you doing? Like for that whole time, you just, it's like already washed by. I don't understand. Unless it's like people are either super incompetent or some of this stuff is on purpose.
Yeah, who knows, man? I don't know.
Would we like to think that they're just that incompetent? I mean, it's a better route, right, than them being evil.
Yeah, it'd be nicer to think that way. But also, there's a bit too much.
Yeah.
And not only on the Ohio thing, but like I said, like I looked it up actually. It's called Premex. It's an oil company.
Mm-hmm.
Premex hit by fires at 3 facilities in one day. How the fuck does that happen? That, like, it's unheard of. All these things are unheard of. It has to be like, what is it? God coming down and doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They would have you think that it just further you know, like the shit that they did, their God is striking them down. But I don't think it works that clearly.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
As much as we'd like it to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing is that then they go, oh, don't worry, there's 1,100 train derailments a year, which that's supposed to make us feel better.
That's worse. to know that's worse.
They're like, this isn't, don't worry, this is not on purpose.
This happens all the time.
Yeah. The train also, I heard the limit you're supposed to have is like 130 trains or something, or cars, and this had 212 or something like that.
Yeah.
And something happened not too long ago, and there's a bunch of confusion whether... So they downregulated what was considered to be toxic for train travel. They downregulated some of that, and then they also got rid of they lessened the safety standards for brakes or some shit. So it's like Obama did one and then Trump did the other. So everybody's trying to blame either one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they both had a fucking part in this.
But yeah, I saw that they were saying that there was a proposal for some improvement for the brakes.
Yeah.
But then I heard someone who said that even if it went through, it wouldn't have mattered in this particular case.
Right. But
that was blamed by Trump because he turned it down, basically.
Yeah, but does that even... So how does the lessening of the degree of toxic elements fit in there? You know what I mean? Like, would those brakes not have been on that train because the chemicals were not deemed high enough level where they had to do that. Like, if you have that type of chemical on there that's this dangerous, why wouldn't you have the best brakes available? Like, how does that not get scheduled as like most important safety in the train? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast today actually with what's his name? What's JFK's nephew?
Jack, right?
Is it Jack? No, it's not Jack. It's the guy with the voice. He had a vaccine injury that fucked with his voice, and now he's like he was one of the people speaking out against the COVID jabs.
Oh yeah, I don't.
And he's still going. He's a lawyer and stuff. I'm pretty sure he's the nephew of JFK. You should look him up. He had a podcast where they were talking about this, and he was saying that, the train companies, they're solely focused on profit, and they cut costs. And so on each of these trains, they only have one or two people who's actually on the train.
Yeah.
Literally. And then he made a good point. He was like, do you think these people would fly in an airplane where there was only one pilot?
Probably not.
I wouldn't do that. What if he has a heart attack or stroke or just falls asleep?
That's becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah, it's more likely to happen.
It is Robert F. Kennedy.
Yes, Robert. Yeah, he's a G, man. You should listen to him a bit. He's done like tons of research on vaccines, especially because if you listen to his voice, it's really fucked up. But he got that from a vaccine, and he's done like documentaries and stuff on different vaccines and injuries, especially.
His Wikipedia comes up. It's hilarious how this shit is written.
Of course it is.
Robert Francis Kennedy Jr. is an American environmental lawyer and author known for promoting anti-vaccine propaganda and conspiracy theories. This is literally Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Kennedy is son of U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy and nephew of President John F. Kennedy.
Yeah. I knew it was something like that. But it's funny because, you need to listen to him. But if I had a vaccine injury, I'd probably tell people, hey, be a bit careful, Well, and he's actually like an educated man. He did tons of research into this. And I'm not saying that he's right. I don't know. But
to see people who were...
Sorry.
It's worth listening to him, at least. Yeah. But they're trying to get him, discredit him, I guess.
Yeah, of course. That's their whole game, is as soon as you don't agree or say exactly what they're saying, then you're just, and it's funny, the whole, this is the whole game right now, right? Is that anybody that speaks out against the main narrative, they immediately just character assassinate and be like, oh, this guy's whatever, anti-vaxxer or whatever. Or if you have news that puts anything out that goes against the regular narrative, then all of a sudden that news is not worthy, and they're just whatever. And especially with like him being a lawyer, I'm sure they're trying to go after his license to do law, which is what they like to do. That's why everybody has these licenses and stuff like that, is just so that the government has something to hold over you. It's the same thing with like a CDL, commercial driver's license. You could be 80 and buy a 60, 70 foot long RV, right? Or whatever, a 60 foot long RV, hook a trailer to the back, hook another trailer to the back of that thing, drive across the country, nobody cares. As soon as you have a commercial truck, all of a sudden you need to take physicals, you need to go to school to drive it, you can't have any alcohol in the car at all if it's commercial. You can't even have empty beer bottles in there. You can't have closed ones in there. You can't have anything in there. And the whole thing is that now they have something to hold over your head in case you do anything they don't like. They can pressure you. And that's the exact same thing they do with doctors. You know,
Yeah.
any doctor speaks out, well, we're going to take your license. Any of the doctors that came right out, even the people that invented the friggin' vaccines, right? They're just
yeah, was it Robert Malone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody else too came out. They had a big part of it, and they're just like, nope, this guy's been discredited. And I'm like, when the
By who? Says who?
Exactly. Well, when the
Like,
Plandemic movie came out, I said something about, I posted something from that woman, and somebody goes, "You better be careful. She's been discredited." And I go, "Yeah, by who? The people she's talking out against? That seems weird, right?"
Exactly. Well, that's what it is. It's so funny how they do it. Like even Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
They're trying. I think there's something going on right now. They're trying to take his license from him.
They're trying to. Yeah, they're trying to send him to re-education.
Yeah. Yes.
Classes,
that's what it was.
so that he can continue doing what he's doing.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I mean, it's sad, really, but hopefully people don't get too discouraged and scared.
Yeah.
You know.
So after this morning, I don't trust Brave browser either.
Is that what you're using?
That's what I'm on. That's supposed to be uncensored, but like I said, some stuff just disappeared on me since we've been talking, and I had it there. And then even when I go and I search, Labcorp stops doing testing for dioxins, it literally won't bring anything up, and I just had stuff up. I had the video I was trying to show you from the woman who's like, oh, they stopped testing, blah, blah, blah. And then also the page from a Labcorp website that said who the investors were. I had that up too, and I don't know where that is.
Well, dude, go to DuckDuckGo and search there.
That one's gotten infiltrated too, I heard.
Well, try it anyways.
I heard
I'm on there right now. Go on Safari and try it.
Well,
or Google Chrome or something.
Yeah, I have Google right here. You know that's gonna be.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But yeah.
Did you find it?
No, I mean, yeah. There's nothing on number one, Reddit. Let's see if it brings it up on Reddit.
Yeah, maybe you can find it through the thread.
Seeing on TikTok, Ohio residents are trying to get dioxin testing. They're being told their primary care. Where is the video? There was a video.
Dioxin is that thing that gives you cancer, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So
dude, what do you do if you're living there? What do you do?
Dude, you're fucked.
Well, I mean, you better just leave, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather sleep in my car in a different state.
But
and
here's,
just,
yeah.
You know?
That's the thing. The area is not rich. It's not like these people have a bunch of money to go move somewhere else. The other thing is that, say you spent your whole life buying, buying this house and everything, and now all of a sudden, what's your property worth, dude?
Fuck off.
Nothing. Who's buying that?
Dude, you can't even drink the fucking water.
No. You know?
That is worth nothing.
Animals in your yard.
Yeah.
Like
I feel so bad for those people, man. And do they even get that's the other thing that Robert F. Kennedy was talking about is that he said this thing got basically no media coverage whatsoever from the mainstream.
Very little.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, and
you would think that affects your whole country.
Well, and that's even what the issue is with all these search engines, right? And the big thing is everybody likes to go is it's a privately held company. I don't give a fuck. If you're supposed to be giving people straight search results and you're just doctoring them and omitting a bunch of shit.
Yeah. That's not cool, man. Have you seen, on a different topic, have you seen what's going on in France?
So I did see a bunch of protests over, what was it over?
pension.
Oh, well,
Dude, what's the pension age in the US?
I don't know.
It's like 65, isn't it?
I think so.
So, from what I understand, basically that dude Macron, the president or prime minister or whatever in France, he I think the age was 62, and he opted to 64, and the people there went nuts. I saw one article said there was 9 million people on the streets.
Wow.
But and for good reason too. And I was so pissed because the age for the same in Sweden is 67, and the Swedes don't say shit.
Yeah.
No one says nothing over here. Like, I know when I get old, the pension age is going to be like 78, probably.
So in the U.S., Social Security full benefit retirement is gradually increasing from 65 to 70. And early retirement benefits were first available at age 62 with a permanent reduction to 80% of the full benefit amount. Most people nearing retirement age have to wait until 66 or 67 for full Social Security benefits. While in the late 1990s and early 2000s, many could still get full benefits at age 65. Dude, working until you're almost 70 to get your money back out of the government, dude.
I mean, we're already at 67 here, and they're trying to up that even more, I'm sure. And I was so pissed because we get a letter I think once a year, that's gives you the total amount of pension that you have up until this point. And it was a shit ton of money, like not a shit ton, but it was a lot. I looked at mine and I was like, I can't touch this until I'm 60 something.
Yeah.
If you just give me that money now, and I could invest it and make sure that my pension is like way better than it's gonna be. But you basically stole this money off of me. And so I can't invest it. I can't do anything with it.
And they're making money off. They're definitely doing something with it. That's the whole deal. Is they get to sit on this money and then probably insider trade it or something. Whatever they have
probably send it to Ukraine or something.
Dude, we're washing so much money in Ukraine right now.
Oh, it's crazy. You guys send so much money over there. It's hilarious.
It's not hilarious.
Like, it's not funny. It's a war. But like, I don't know what the hell you're doing over there.
Well,
like,
they're now there's something with our pensions or our stuff, and we're supposedly trying to pay for their pensions.
Yeah.
The last thing that I heard was that we need to really make sure that Ukrainian people's pensions are, and I'm like, wait,
what about my pension, man?
You got so many people on the street here.
Yeah.
Like, and then we keep taking more people in, and we can't take care of what we have, and everybody got shut down. Only people that got bailed out were huge corporations, and they're like, oh, we don't have money for any of you people, and then they give whatever the hell it was, $40 billion away.
Yeah.
The fact
what
that
about
we're
the taxpayer?
The fact that we're not in the streets everywhere being like, this is crazy, and it's only, I mean, you know why, is because they have us separated so far down that everybody's not getting together to do that, because they even did it with January 6th, right? They're trying to
that was funny too.
They're trying to paint that as it's all like inbred toothless rednecks going and trying to, you know what I mean? So then the other faction of the country doesn't want to be involved with them. And
of course.
even the way that the riots went, the people on the other side don't want to be involved with the people that were doing the rioting. You know what I mean? So it's like, instead of having one big peaceful riot to actually force the government to do something, we have one faction rioting for something, and we have another faction, I wouldn't even say it rioting, visiting the Capitol. Have you seen we're jumping ship here, but have you seen all the footage of
I've seen it,
cops being like, hey, keep going forward?
Dude, they were giving that dude, what's his name? I can't remember, the Viking dude.
Yeah.
They were giving him a guided tour of the house. That is crazy. And not only that, I heard that because you know how Biden was saying that they killed a bunch of police officers and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was one guy who actually died, and he died during that time.
Yeah.
Supposedly from being hit by a fire extinguisher in the head. But in the video, you can see him walking around after he was supposed to be killed. You see him walking around inside, and he even had a helmet on. So it's like you killed him with a fire extinguisher in the head, but he's walking around like he actually died of stroke. I think like the next day or something.
He died of a coincidence.
Yeah, that's what I think. He died of a coincidence, but it's just it's gone so far in the media that like even if what they lied about is like it's coming out that it was a lie, they can't backtrack.
No. Well, the issue
they can't like
the issue is that it's with any of this stuff, right? As soon as you go the Ohio is safe, you know what I mean? Everything's good. That's the blanket statement they put out in the beginning.
Yeah.
Then you're never going to reach the same amount of ears with the retraction. It never happens.
Yeah.
And that's their whole plan, right? If we just put this message out, and no matter what it is, if it's negative towards somebody or positive in this aspect, they never get the retraction. They never get the fixed information. And I'm sure that it's the same way. Like, it's probably just suppressed. And it's crazy in this country and probably around the world, but you literally have people living different realities depending on their algorithm and whatever the machine is feeding them. Because I see stuff constantly that masks don't work, the vaccines are causing injury, they're not testing for dioxins in Ohio, chickens are dying everywhere, and yet I go to the store and I still see people with masks on. I still see commercials for vaccines. I'm like, how can you have all these adverse reactions coming out, all these stories, all this information, and they're still pushing the thing? How is this even possible? How come everybody hasn't seen that the masks didn't do anything the whole time and they're still wearing them to the store? Like, I'm just blown away.
Yeah. I think I mean, with the masks, I didn't see anyone here in a mask. Well, you see an odd one every now and again, but it's very rare.
They're
we
really
never had
crazy if they're in Sweden with a mask.
Yeah, I mean, but there was during the actual pandemic, there was like a fair few people who was wearing masks, but it was never mandated or anything like that. But the thing is, so it's almost like we're living in two different dimensions, right?
Yeah.
So if I talk to my parents, for example, who only watch mainstream news, they read the same newspaper they've read for 40 years, that's their reality.
Yeah.
And then I show them a different reality, and to them, that's horseshit because my newspaper didn't say, and I've trusted them for so long.
Exactly.
And dude, it was hilarious, actually. A guy who I would say I kind of work for, well, he gives me a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy, but when the COVID hit, he got really scared. And he's like a fit dude. He's a little bit older. He's maybe 55, maybe coming up on 60. And because I was working there, he was kind of, trying to get me to take the jab.
Yeah.
And I just I didn't explain everything, but I just told him like my beliefs are this, and I'm not doing it. There's no way. And so he got sick, I think, before taking the jab, and it was pretty bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he took the jabs, and I talked to him today, actually, and he was like, "Oh, I was sick last week," and I was like, "Oh shit, I hope you feel better." And he was like, "Yeah, I think it was the vid." And I was like, "Why do you think that?" He was like, "It was the same symptoms, but you know what? I think I got away kind of, I got away with it. I was only sick for 3 days because I took the jabs."
Dude,
I was like, "What?"
Dude,
I had the vid too, and I was sick for like a day or 2 days maybe.
I got real sick with it, but like late, only just probably last fall or something like that.
Yeah.
Which actually I had a joke that I didn't get vaccinated, but I have the antibodies, and I know I have the antibodies the same way I know I don't have herpes. My girlfriend got tested.
Yeah.
But she get tested and had the antibodies. This was fairly early on. I
Yeah.
never got tested, but I'm assuming I was around her all the time. I'm assuming either
Obviously, yeah.
she doesn't even know when she had it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming I probably got it at the same time. This last time I did actually get pretty sick, but I also was on the road. I was down in Tennessee. I stayed up late a bunch of nights trying to like drive and do stuff down there. And I think I just weakened myself enough where it got a hold of me, versus if I had been on my normal sleep schedule or whatever, I don't think it probably would have been as bad. But you can't convince the people like that the shot didn't save him. Like if he had gotten it initially, and then not gotten the shot, he may not have even gotten it that next time. Or it may have been even less severe. But now you can't backtrack and convince anybody of that.
Yeah.
Anybody that got it, that had the shot and then got it and survived, in their head, they survived because they had the shot. Otherwise, they would have been in the hospital. And everybody like you and I are like, we're healthy because we didn't get it,
Yeah. But it's weird, like, because even in the mainstream these days, they're not saying what you and me would be saying, but they're kind of saying it didn't work, right?
Yeah. Very
and I don't know,
slowly.
at least for transmission, it definitely didn't work.
Right.
I guess their argument would be that it helps you with the symptoms,
but we don't.
For a couple of months. But
that's a bullshit response, because how do we know?
Exactly, that's my point. Like, how do you know? Maybe you would have gone through it easily, anyways. Like,
maybe.
That's, to me, is insane. And then, sure, maybe some people who were not jabbed got very, very sick with COVID. I'm sure there was people like that too. But I don't know. I'm hearing too many stories about coincidences, in the aftermath. And even I think it was on like one of the mainstream channels in the US, they were saying that because of those medications, people who are struggling to have babies. There are a lot of stillborn babies. There are tons of women who go into menopause way early. And it's like...
Also causing cancers to come back or progress super fast. I saw something recently where they looked in some cancer cells, and inside it was the spike protein.
Of course.
Listen, it's hilarious because Bill Gates is on record of saying that we have too many people and you need to reduce population. He got sued by Ethiopia or something like that for killing.
Yeah, it was some African country, yeah.
For killing like Uganda. I think it was Uganda. Killing like so many people with some vaccines that they rolled out like 2 years before they did this here. Like, and so that's the premise of that whole thing, is that he learned during that because there was a big lawsuit. And then that's why when they came here, all of a sudden they had the emergency use deal. So that way nobody could be liable. Like, they learned from that whole thing. And then when they did it here, they changed it. But the real issue is just that the information is so lopsided. Like you said, we live in different dimensions than other people that watch CNN all the time, or Fox or whatever. And the stuff that they're being fed is totally different. And that's the real issue ultimately, right? Is that we're being coerced to believe whatever, that the train wreck is totally fine, that the environment there is fine. this is, and anybody that doesn't agree with the mainstream people or those big corporations is silenced. Just like I can no longer find this stuff on here, and there's definitely a video out there that says that that stuff was, they stopped testing for dioxins, and from people in the area. So the censorship issue is really, I mean, they go.
What's the solution to that? Because to me, this is such a problem. Like, for example, I have very, very close, like people who are very close to me, who are on, for example, I won't say who, but as someone who's very, very close to me, who's religiously like on Greta's team.
Oh yeah.
Environment is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if there's slaves making the batteries for the damn Teslas. Nothing matters, just the environment. But then when you ask them to, like, I asked, just prove to me that I'm not saying it's not the case, but I'm just asking questions. Prove to me that CO2, higher levels of CO2 heats the planet. Prove it to me. And then no one can prove it. And I'm like, someone said this before, and I'm not religious, but someone said when you take religion from people, which is like, if you look in Scandinavia, almost no one here is religious anymore. We used to be Christians, and there's a lot of Muslims here though. But when you take religion from people, they find it in something else.
Oh yeah.
Well, so
that's
like
even government.
It's almost. Yeah, even government. It's like, that's your God now. Government, environmentalists, whatever, even on the other side. And they will also do like, yeah, if you speak out against anything on the climate, anything on COVID, you're automatically like a Nazi or a right-wing kind of person, even though it's not really political, at least not for me.
But that's what they've made it. And that's why I was saying about us trying to protest and actually get some change made. It won't happen here because we're so team-oriented. Like, and we're broken down into very small teams, right? There's blacks, Asians, because they were getting beaten up, the Asians. The blacks have been, repressed. Then you have the LGBTQ that only wants justice for their group. They don't, you know what I mean? It's all about people that feel like they're in the wrong body, and we need to, like, how about we all, like, I literally have a cousin, she's a lesbian, which it's weird because gay guys are more conservative. They don't go with, they think the whole alphabet gender thing is ridiculous. Most of the gay guys I know, they're like against that. Yet the women, lesbians, have somehow gotten like pulled into that group more. So she was mad at me one time. I was like, listen, we all need to get together and stand up for all of us. I'm like, it's not this group or that group. And I'd said something about trans. And she goes, no, well, trans, people are killing themselves because of whatever. And I'm like, listen, there are conservative people killing themselves because they don't have money. They can't work. They can't, do this. They were in the war, like war veterans. They're killing themselves. You don't care about any of those other people? And she basically was like, yeah, like, I'm just worried about this group of people. And I'm like, if there was more money and more justice for everyone, guess what? You know what I mean? Like, it could be dispersed to all the groups. But we first need to get what we deserve from the government, and then we can bicker about how it's split. But right now, we're not getting anything. All of our money's being sent to another country, and all of us are neglected. So it's stupid for you to just sit in this one little corner and go, this corner needs the money, not you guys.
Yeah.
Because we all
and
need
it's not
help.
really about just money either. Or that's not what they talk about. But it's like, it's funny to me that a lot of, if we're talking about I call them the alphabet people. No offense. Like, you do you. I don't care at all.
And that's fine, but you're right. It's getting ridiculous. Like,
if you're grooming kids and you're lap dancing for children, and you can go fuck yourself. Like, for real, like, it's getting very ridiculous.
Yeah.
But because a lot of feminists, or so-called feminists, it's not what feminism is all about from the beginning, but they're feminists talking about, how the trans people are killing themselves and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but have you looked at suicide rates, on the male side? You know how many men kill themselves every year? Is way higher than the females. Like, and you're a feminist talking about suicide. I don't know. It's just weird to me. You can care just about that small group. And I think it's a lack of problems, really. They just create problems because they have none.
Yeah, there's not shit going on here. Listen, if you had to make sure the Taliban wasn't outside your door every day, guess what? You wouldn't be worried about genders. But it's even hilarious because people here are so upset about this, and they're like, America sucks and blah, blah. Like I just said, go to wherever Afghanistan and try to be LGBTQ and see how that goes, and then tell me how America sucks. I mean, we give you the freedom to do whatever you want. It's like, don't force it on me. And the issue is that with those people killing themselves, I feel bad for anybody that's killing themselves, right? For whatever the reason is. But if you are so sensitive that somebody misgendering you pushes you over the edge where you want to commit suicide, you were close to it anyway.
Yeah, super close.
You were on the edge because there's no reason that should, you know what I mean, be the end of it. And you're like, that's it, I'm going to end it because somebody called me the wrong thing. Like, there's another issue. Yeah, there's another issue that needs to be addressed before we get to, that.
Yeah.
I actually gotta get going and get ready for this other podcast.
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry, man. We got way out of what we were supposed to talk about.
Well, we started there. I mean, all of it is the separation of people and the like selective information, accessible to people. And that is the issue with all of this stuff. And it's all just trying to, I think, persuade us or dictate what we're thinking or doing, or, you know what I mean, get us to act in specific ways. Just like the not testing, now they can just go, oh, so it's just a hiding of information once again. And that's all this whole game is, so that we don't know if we're coming or going. We don't know if who's right and who's wrong, and we just fight with each other.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's also very hard for people to shift the way they think. It's like that saying, what is it? Is it Mark Twain who said it's easier to fool someone than to convince them they've been fooled?
I don't know if that's... I'm not sure it was Mark Twain. It might have been somebody from like the CIA or something, honestly.
Might have been. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But it's a damn good quote. Yeah. And I think it applies to all of these things.
Yeah.
Really.
And everybody's perceived notions. You're always looking for something that's going to like be like, yes, you were right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course.
Agree with your... So you already have confirmation bias because you're like, this is what I believe, so I see this, so then that's it.
Yeah.
And then they hide information. So even if you were to search, now you don't find anything that goes that way. So you're just like, oh, this is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people should look more, look on the streets. Like during COVID, like, are people dying everywhere? No. Like nothing was really going on. Nothing was really different.
In the beginning, they had all those
the videos from China.
They did a good job in the beginning. And even here, they were like, we have extra morgues, of big refrigerator trailers on the street so we can put all these bodies in. Yet they also brought a battleship in and had it as like emergency triage, hospital.
Yeah, we have that here too.
Guess what? Yeah. No beds were used on that boat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, man. And all the coincidences that have come after that, I think the excess mortality rates now are way up.
Way higher.
Compared to the pandemic and before that.
But there's not a news ticker there's not a ticker at the bottom of our screen during Fox News that says this many vaccine
Keeping
injuries.
score.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is what they did. The fear campaign was real in the beginning, especially here. I don't know how it was there, but you couldn't fart without them telling you how many people you just killed from your COVID farts. Like, it was like...
Yeah, it was the same here on the news for sure. They kept track. There was like a how many people have died, you know, but with COVID.
Yeah.
But at first they said of COVID, but then they changed it in the middle of it, they changed it with COVID. It's ridiculous. But anyways, man, you got to get going. That was a fun chat, man.
Yes, sir. And we're going to get it live. I don't know what the hell happened this morning. But
we'll get it.
All right, guys. Yeah, any subjects you want us to cover or anything, just let us know. We'll dive in, do the research, and do a little video about it.
Yeah, and I'll just say this before we go. At least for me, I know you do a ton of research on some of these things, but then they won't let you look at the fucking articles. But for the next time, I'm going to be doing a bit of research too.
All right.
So I know what I'm actually talking about. But also, don't take me seriously, because I don't know what I'm talking about half the time.
We're just getting rolling here, people. Enjoy and keep tuned.
I